Hey, what's happening? What's going on? This is the start of a new series called Back to the Basics, where we kind of look at the initial and underlying premises behind technical analysis so that we can kind of piece together all of these different main ideas and form educated assumptions on what the price action will be doing for our crypto assets that we're trading. So to get started, as the title says, we're looking at trend lines and support and resistance lines. One of the easiest and simplest things to do while trading, and one of the most important in my personal opinion. So before we get started, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and like this video, just to keep encouraging the new content. So right now we are looking at Bitcoin to USD on Bitfinex. It's just a classic thing to look at for me. We can even go ahead and blow it up big here. Okay, so just so y'all can still see what's going on. This is the 1 hour chart. As you can see, we're obviously going up, which would signify an uptrend, a bullish run, which we're definitely experiencing. We broke 10,000 last night. We're currently at 10.2. It's a good psychological number to break, 10,000 is. So let's go ahead and get started into what we're going to be talking about today. I'm going to start with some support and resistance lines, which can be done on your TradingView or CoinEnergy account, whichever you're using, by selecting the horizontal line here. You can edit what color you want it to be and the size. For some reason I like purple and red, and I generally like somewhat thick lines just to signify and help everything stand out from other things. So right away, let's go ahead and get started. So a support line is anything that the price bounces off of. So the price is getting supported at the certain line. A resistance line would be anything that the price is having a hard time busting through. So in order to find those, I generally look for peaks and troughs and then line up everything that's in there and form either the support or the resistance line. Generally, both are formed on one peak, right? So right away, this one is pretty easy to see. So I'll go ahead and drop a line there. We see the resistance point hit here. We see it drop down. We see it hit, and then it kind of plays around. And then once it goes through, we see it explode upwards. And then it bounces off it again, and it explodes upwards. So we see a resistance point hit, but then it breaks through the resistance, and that resistance then becomes the support line, which can be seen here, support, support, and it busted up again. So again, on that same idea, we can go ahead and draw another line right here because we see the price hit, bounce, hit, bounce, hit, bounce, and then we break through and it explodes up again. So basically, any time that the price busts through a support or resistance line, it generally moves quickly and a lot. So that's just something to keep in mind as we're looking at all these. Let's go ahead and keep drawing our lines. We can see a line here with the bounces. Bounce, 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 bounce. We can see another one right here. So we see this, and then it breaks through, big candle up, and then it bounces off. And then the next big one that I'm going to just go ahead and mark right here. And this one is interesting because this actually shows us another pattern that we're going to be talking about later, but I might as well just go ahead and cover it right now, which is a cup and handle pattern. We see it's trying to go for an uptrend. It hits this resistance point and drops back down to this rounded bottom here. Hits the resistance point again, which would be a double top, so we would expect it to go down, which it did. So this is the cup, and then it forms this handle, and we see the rounded bottom, and this is the hourly chart, so this all took some time. We see this rounded bottom here, and we see a big candle explode right up into that resistance point, and then when it breaks through the resistance point, we see another huge candle spike. So that's a classic cup and handle breakout is what we call this whole scenario right here. So now let's go ahead and draw some trend lines just to help us figure out what's going on even a little more. I am going to change my color of this one. I'm going to put it as, let's do red, up my thickness a little bit here. Okay, so right away, what I like to do is kind of figure out where the bottom was and then just kind of go accordingly. And the idea is that you're just drawing where all those peaks are hitting, right? And then you can kind of extend it out here. So we see that it kind of is staying within this channel, right? And we can do that exact same thing on the flip side from the tops. So we can keep this going all the way across on the tops. One thing I will do sometimes is I'll just if I get a really good line, I'll just copy and paste it and then do another one up top. So what this is showing is that we have a little bit of room to run until we hit this next channel support line, right? So this channel is acting exactly like these lines are acting with support and resistance lines. Another way that you can do this is by using the pitchfork, which I can go ahead and show you. And this, again, just forms those support and resistance lines in the diagonal manner as opposed to the horizontal manner. So when you're making a pitchfork, what you do, as I did it backwards, okay, so when you're making a pitchfork, you drop your point, and then you just place it in the middle, and then you just start pulling and readjusting as needed. So you want your peaks and your troughs to stay within the green channel. And then you'll just raise it up as needed, and then kind of readjust. Okay, so this is again just another way of looking at what's going on with the price action. So here we see that it's bouncing off the green, bounces off the green, bounces off the green. And so what I would suspect to happen is that we kind of consolidate a little bit here like we've been doing, consolidation, consolidation. We consolidate a little bit and then we pop back up and get into that 10.5 range up here pretty soon. But now that we've broken that initial resistance line, we can see that we're forming a new resistance line right here because we've topped out on two separate candles up at the top here. And this could break and be readjusted here, but that's just something we got to figure out. But this exact same principle of support and resistance and trending can be used on all of your different trades and on all different time charts. I mean, if you're day trading, like you're scalping something, you'll definitely want to have your support and resistance lines so that you know just about where your buys and your sells should be placed. You also want to know what the general trend is of the coin that you're trading, because I mean that changes everything, whether or not you're in an upward trend or a downward trend. And I mean, if you're trying to swing something, like swing trade something, again, all these premises apply. And if you're in a long-term trade and you crank out this 1 hour to maybe a day or something like that, you can still find those hard resistance points that are hard to break through. So I hope that you found this useful. If you did, again, go ahead and like the video, subscribe, leave me a comment, let me know what's up. There's going to be more of these back to the basic videos. Leave a comment knowing which back to the basic you would like me to cover. I kind of have some set up, but I could always use your advice and your help. So let me know that in the description or in the comments, and I hope you have a great rest of the day. Peace.